Alright, so now that I did some EQ to the kick drum, I'm going to go ahead and start doing some compression. First thing I'm going to grab when I'm thinking about compressing a kick drum is my ratio knob, and I'm going to give it a low ratio, 2-to-1 being the highest. The reason is compressors attack the transient or the punch or the impact of a sound the most. That's the you know how they say in the mixing world that there's always a give and take trade with whatever plugin you put on. Well, for compression, the take of it is the transient. It's going to take away your transients, and you should know that. That should be a main thing you know about compression. But it boosts the consistency of the sound, so it brings out more of the low tones of the sound and make sure that it's all at an even volume. When it comes to kick drum, we love the transient, so we don't want to give it too high of a ratio, because the higher the ratio, the more compression. Alright, let's get into it. I got a ratio. I'm dealing with a 1.5 ratio. The next thing I'm going to do is bring our threshold down so it's actually getting some compression in on our kick drum. Alright, and as we can see just from the visual that some compression is starting to kick in. Now you can see it's actually chopping off what I was talking about, our transient. We don't want to hurt our transient too much, so I'm not going to bring that threshold down too much. I'm going to just get it to slightly hit the peaks of our kick drum. Now that I got it slightly hitting the peaks of our kick drum, I'm going to go straight to my attack. Now the thing to know about the attack when it comes to kick drums is the faster the attack, the more of the transient is going to hurt. The slower the attack, the more of the transient is going to protect. It's going to let more of that transient go before the compressor actually kicks in. So with that being said, I'm going to want a slower attack. But I still leave the attack a little bit fast, slightly fast. This is because I do want a little bit of that consistency into my kick drum. I do want some of those lower tones to get bigger in my kick drum. Next, I'm going to reach for my release. Now, if I make my release more slow by moving it to the right, then I'm giving it a more natural sound. If I move my release more to the left or make it faster, then I'm giving it more of a distorted sound. Because this is such a fast sound, such a quick going sound, I don't mind too much distortion because it's not the cleanest sound in the world anyway. It's not like a piano or something that has to be beautiful. It's a kick drum. It's something that you want to knock hard. So I want it to be more loud, more consistent. I'm going to go with the faster release. Give it a more distorted sound. Have it gain stage differently. Always remember to gain stage after any plugin you use. But this is a before and after. Before, after. Alright, that's cool. But now that I've given the kick drum some EQ and some compression, and I know that compression took a little bit of my impact or my transient away, I want to bring that back out a little bit. So what I'm going to do that is introduce some distortion.